Hello Pisces, I am Ulrich, I am a Lenormand card reader, but this time we will use a financial deck for your card reading. The deck contains 44 cards and the laying is done with 3 cards, which you see here in front of me. You can see also 4 objects here in front of me, meaning we will do 4 card reading for each astrological sign for the month of August, and this financial video is for Pisces. From these 4 objects you see here, you choose or you pick one that you think relates most to your personality, or you choose one you feel most comfortable with. This object of your choice, it should or it will relate best to your current financial situation or the advice that you will be receiving from the cards regarding that financial situation. Of course, you can watch all 4 videos related to the Pisces sign. And after you watch all 4 videos, you can then decide what symbol or object is fitting your personal card reading or financial situation the best. The matches here represent the fire element, the stone represents the earth element, the aerosol sprayer represents the air element, and the shell represents the water element. So Pisces, here we go for your card reading for this month. Hello Pisces, and welcome to the shell or the water group for the month of August 2021. As the first card here, this is a very good card. It's a card of luck. So it means your financial situation for this month will be very good. Next here, you have the bonus card. So you will have financial luck this month. That's the first. But also you will receive additional money from your work, or bonuses related to your work. And then here, the last card, this is the cards asks you to review your debts, meaning there are good debts and there are bad debts. So we will review this in this laying here. So first we start with the luck card here. This card means that money don't make happy. But of course, we need it to survive. It's easy to have enough, and we of course need our basic needs. For example, we have our psychological and our security needs, and we of course we aspire to self-fulfillment. This card asks you, and it brings you luck, but it also asks you that you need to review your essential needs. It asks you if you confuse your basic needs with the things that you actually buy, because sometimes we confuse basic needs with luxury good. So of course it's good to have more, and everybody would like to have more, and so would you. But for instance, we would like to travel more, we would like to spend more, but the question here asked is, does this really will make you happy? Spending more, does this guarantee your feeling of completeness, that you feel more relaxed, that you will feel more at ease? So this card asks you to take a break and thinking about your pursuit of happiness and the pursuit of money. So it asks you to to make a relativation of your financial situation. This is what this card tells you. It asks you to take a break and think about where you really want to be financially. It asks you also, if everybody would be so happy with money, why are the ultra rich or the very rich known to be very unhappy? I'm not generalizing, but in several cases, it's known that people who have a lot of money are not happy. They are not feeling fulfilled. So this card tells you sometimes we need to be happy with what we have. This is what this card tells you. This cards tell you to enjoy the little things of life and to review what you really have. Maybe you already have a fortune, and the fortune is next to you. Maybe it's your relatives, maybe it's your children, maybe it's the things close to you, and maybe you already have a house, maybe you already have an amount of happiness. So this card tells you to be happy. Then here, the next card, this is the bonus. So these are two good cards. I cannot make anything bad out of it. This card means a bonus. So probably you have received recently a fixed bonus of money, either during the year or you're expecting a bonus. That is what this card says. It could possibly be related to your work, or maybe your parents, or you receive some money or some benefits out of a third source. Of course, these amounts are welcome for everybody and also for you. But this card asks you, what will you do with it? The problem is if sometimes we tend to spend money before it arrives, and this card asks you to think about that, to reflect on the bonus that you will receive or that you have received, and instead of spending the money, you should think about it. Leave it for a while in an account, leave it for a while in some place, and just don't touch it. Just think about it, what you're going to do with this money. It also tells you if you have credit cards or if you have debts on credit cards, and we buy with these credit cards, maybe you have some debts on these credit cards, and maybe those debts still need to be paid. This card tells you you can pay those debts with the bonus that that you receive, and that you make some kind of a balance. So you get out of your debts. Maybe it's something to reflect over. This is what these cards tell you. Maybe you buy some present for a person, for somebody else close to you, or maybe you buy something for yourself. But the issue is we need to pay for it. This card asks you to take a break, and like for instance, before you spend, you think, or you give an optimal use to the sources of money, the third sources of money, like bonuses that you will receive or you already have received. It asks you to reflect instead of spending more. It asks you to balance your debts, because the next card, we see the debts. And this card asks you if your debts are bad or good debts. There are two kinds of bad debts, but I will explain what it means here. It means if we have a loan on our house, this is a positive debt, because this debt you can for first deduct from your taxes, and the second thing is it lets you improve your situation. Your house that we see here is a solid investment. Even though you pay debts, you deduct these debts. So it means all, it's not for nothing, it's the key of the house here. So it makes actually improve yourself as a person and improve your house. So it's a double win-win situation, this one. It's a financial stability that you get for yourself. The other side of this card asks you if you have some unpaid debts here, and it tells you if you do, because you bought some things in the past and you have still money to pay on those debts or on those credit cards, to use the bonus here and to make a distinction between good debts and bad debts. It actually tells you it's better to make an investment in your house than to make an investment in things that you don't need. This is what these cards tell you, because the debts on credit cards are seen as liabilities. They are not improving your situation. Actually, it's just the reverse, because the more your credit cards or your debit cards are in debt, the more you pay. So it's not a good debt, but this asks you for your house, it's a good debt. So you need to see that your house is the best investment. These are assets and not liabilities. So this card asks you to review your whole financial situation, because you're in a very lucky streak now. So it asks you to review your situation and put yourself in the right place. Try to balance if you have debts and try to invest in your house. This is what these things tell you. If you don't want to invest in your house, we see the house here also and related to the other cards, the traditional cards, the Lenormand card represents our house. So it means, literally, it can mean we can invest in our body, or we can invest in the people around us. For instance, in studies from a child or something like that. It asks you to invest in those close to you or your house or yourself. So that is what we see here, pieces for the month of August 2021 for your card laying. This is a very good laying. It's very prosperous. So just try to reflect here on the message that the cards give you. And I wish you a happy month. And thanks for watching my video. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Hello, pieces, and welcome to the Aerosol or the Air Group for the month of August 2021 for your financial card reading. Here, the first card that we see, it means that if you are in some form of loan, in general, I would say this is a very good laying for pieces. It's very good. It just asks you to do some adjustments if you want to improve financially more, because this is a good laying. So here, we see that it's like a repayment of debts. I'm going to explain myself what this card means. If you have, for instance, a loan on your house and the interests on your loans are dropped due to economical reasons, because sometimes the interest rates drop, and if we recalculate the interests, and it's possible that you save a whole amount of money because the interest drops. The bank in itself, they will not give you notice of these drops. You need to take the initiative for that yourself. So it's possible if you are in a certain interest rate due to economical circumstances, your interest rates are dropped. And if you are in a fixed payment on fixed interests, if you recalculate your interest, it's possible that you save thousands of euros or thousands of dollars with this loan that you have on your house. So you need to inquire about this. Sometimes this recalculation and readjustment on the loan, it could cost you like $1,000, but in the return, you win like $25,000. So this is worth recalculating if you're in a situation like that. That is then if it would be on your house, on fixed properties or things that you own. You need to check in your bank for for checking your loans and the interests amounts that you pay on your loans. So next, here this is like a repayment strategy. It tells you also if you, for some reason, you would be discouraged financially. It tells you this card not to be. It says, as I said earlier, you need to check and check respective rates of loans. Again, what I just said. So it's I just repeat here. If you have, for instance, also debts on credit cards, this card tells you to be creative with your money. We see the creativity already here next. And if you can, maybe you win out of a situation, as I told you earlier, from the money of your house. And if you have debts that are not improving your property, but like bad debts, like on credit cards, with the money you win of the recalculation of your interest, you invest that in your credit cards. And then the credit cards are balanced out and your interests and the debts will be gone. So this card tells you to be smart with your money and reinvest your money. It asks you to use a smart approach towards your money. So this card tells you to check all the balances that you have. And if you have debts, to take care of your negative debts and return them or like renew them in positive debts. This is what these two cards tell us. The less the less interests you pay on your credit cards. If the amount reduces, you pay less interest, because the higher the debts, the more you pay, because your interests go up regarding the amount of debts that you have here. It also tells you, it's a little bit more direct then, this card also tells you you need to take care and charge of your financial situation. You need to pull yourself together, go to the bank and act. If you have debts, you need to act, because there are prosperous times here, but you are the one. Don't let it go, because it's, if you act creative, you will gain a lot of money. But don't stay in your coach, take your calculator, go to the bank and act. This is what this combination tells you. You will be able to reduce your debts substantially. This is what it tells here. And also it tells you, if you do, you will make profits out of it, because you see the profits here also, and you will make will be able to make adjustments that really improve your life. Maybe with the recalculation of your debts, you can invest that in another project. Maybe you can upgrade your house. Maybe you can save it for your children, for their study. So this is what this card laying says. You need to come out of your couch, review, recalculate all your debts, and you will have a substantial upgrade in your financial situation. We go more in here on the creative side. So if you do expenses, for instance, now, and you need to buy gifts, this card tells you to be creative. Instead of shopping for gifts you give on people, you can, for instance, make a present yourself. For instance, you make jams. If you are the creative type, you can make like canned things, canned vegetables, and you dress them up, for instance, like with like a present. You can dress them up like a present, or you do something creative. For instance, if your daughter or your son's birthday is coming up, you make something yourself. And because you put your time in this project, your son or daughter or your relative, they will be surprised. You invest actually your time in them. Your gift will be highly appreciated. So this tells you to be creative in, for instance, if you are a cook in your kitchen, you give a gift that you make yourself. If you're creative with your hands in woods, you make some toys. It's like that. Just think about it. If you cannot be creative of yourself, and instead of spending money and shopping for hours for finding the ideal gift, you just do things yourself. You will gain money because you don't spend it, because you do the creation yourself, and it will be highly appreciated because you invest your time in it, and time is actually the most appreciated good that we have our society. So this card asks you to, and also it asks you to invest time in your family. This is what this card also tells you. It asks you to be creative and embark on an adventure. Be creative towards your family, and at the same time, save money. This is what this laying says. The last card is a very good card. They are all good. And this is a card. This is actually, it says congratulations here. It means that over the last time, you have progressed your financial. So it means probably over the longer run, you have achieved something. So for the moment, you experience a rather carefree period, but it tells you to attend things. I already explained you earlier here. So now for the moment, you are more like in command. You are more like the captain of your ship. So it tells you also, this card, that you should be happy with this achievement, but the battle is not over. And as we know, there are always things that we are confronted with, especially unexpected things. This card congratulates you, but at the same time, it tells you to take care of the future. Meaning, if you have money over or you have savings, to guard these savings. It tells you also to take a few minutes for yourself and just look at the things that you have achieved. And it tells you to smile. to take a break, to appreciate the road that you have traveled. This is what this card tells you. It's been a long road, I'm aware of that. But be aware that your children, if they need to study, it costs money. If they go to university, it costs money. If you get older, it costs money. If you will make investments in your house, you will have a return. If you make investments in your children, you secure their future. This card asks you to be wise. It also asks you to savor the day, celebrate your accomplishments, but think wisely over the future, because the battle is never over. So here it tells you to take the break, but at the same time, it tells you to reflect. If you have money over, to invest this money in secure things like a house, like investments that are secure. You can invest, for instance, in secure things like gold, silver, bonds. Certain coins are very stable, like certain, like you invest in the dollar, you invest in the euro, or a coin, for instance, that you feel stable about. It's just an example. You need to go on your feelings. You can ask advice in the bank, but if you have money left, it asks you to be creative with this money and invest it in a secure fund. This is what this laying is about. It's a very positive laying. So you need to reflect here over the things that the cards mentioned to you, and you will advance even more. So, Pisces, for the air group, this is all for the month of August. I hope you enjoyed my card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye now. Hello, Pisces, and welcome to the Earth or the Stone group for the financial reading for August 2021. These three cards are just, they are more like neutral cards. So the information that you get here relies or goes back to situations that you created before. And it's like there is a balance made up here. I will explain myself. The first card here is, we know that the sign of Pisces can sometimes can be very charitable. They are easy to donate things to others. They give things to others, and this card relates to, for instance, it relates to the holidays. Probably in the holidays that are past, with Christmas, Easter, and Valentine, you spend some money on people close to you or to your lovers. So this card reminds you of that. It also asks you if the amounts that you spent for these loved ones was really necessary. Meaning, we can buy a box of chocolate and we can buy a combination microwave that is very expensive. So it asks you to evaluate your gifts in a money value, because this card asks you to review the way you spend, because this card tells you actually a loved one will not love you more because you spent $3,000 or 3,000 euro or 30 euro. There will be no difference. There will be no difference in the love that we receive. So this card asks you to evaluate. It also asks you to go back in time and check the basis of these festivals, religious or not, but what was their original purpose? And it asks you to reflect on that situation. Because, for instance, Christmas has gone from a serene, peaceful festivity to a spendthrifted celebration. Like there is no limit anymore. It's a general consensus that we see with many people. Actually, sometimes people make debts for buying presents. You will be aware of that, I'm sure. So this card asks you that you realize, and you probably knows, that the horror is when the invoices arrive the month after. If this is on credit cards, also you pay interests on your credit cards. And the higher the interests, the more you pay. So this card asks you to review, if you make a gift, to relate it not to your feelings, but be a little bit reflective about it. You need to think about it. You need to be realistic about the gifts that you're giving, your position, and not to value your expressions in money, not to express yourself in money. In this case, I would almost say here, in many cases, one of the most cherished goods in our society is time. Because we have a busy life, we don't have time, we're running to our work, we're running to the gym, we're running everywhere. And there is no more time for the people around us. And actually, that is a very precious gift, because in life, we never know what is going to happen. We never know. So this card asks you to reflect about the value of money, the presents. Don't see it as an expression of a feeling. This card tells you to reflect. Here, the last note I want to add here is the attention or the time you give to a loved one is sometimes more appreciated than actual money. That is what it says here, this card. So you need to reflect about that for the future also if you give gifts. Here then, the next card we have here is the acceptation. If you're in a certain situation that you spend some money on loved ones, you come now in a situation of balance. So this card tells you also, if you still are in the mood of shopping, this card tells you, even if you go for hunting for less expensive goods, if you cannot get over it, that it sometimes it don't bring any progress. You will chase for, like for instance, for half a day to find a gift that is in promo, but actually it don't improve the situation. It asks you to stop looking for promos and reevaluate your situation. You need to take charge of your economical situation and manage yourself as best as you can. This is what it says here also. It also says, for instance, if you have been thinking about earning more money or doing more efforts for earning money, that with earning money, sometimes we spend more. And this card tells you that sometimes more is not better. It's just the opposite. It tells you to use the funds that you have in a better way. For instance, you buy second-hand goods with warranty. If you need something you really need to buy and you really want to do something for gifts, or you cannot help yourself, you can adjust your situation. You can buy second-hand goods with warranty. You can be creative with your own gift, with your gifts. You can make something yourself. It's like here, this card tells you it's imperative that you learn to live comfortable with the means that you have. If you have a strong focus on earning more, maybe it makes you more unhappy than the happiness you have now. You must accept your situation, because it means exception, as it is today. And also you must accept that the neighbor, your family, whoever is in your neighborhood will have a higher standard of living than you have. We must accept this. That's how it is. That's how it is. We cannot change that. Some people advance, but also you need to see that some people are poorer, or they have more misery in life. So it asks you to balance yourself out. This is what this card tells you. You need to make a balance between your income, the gifts that you give to people. You need to balance it. Whatever your income or your savings may be, it's the action that will determine where you are. So this card asks you to determine where you are. This is what this card tells you, to make up the balance. This card tells you then, check out how can you save and how can you improve your daily financial situation without spending more money. As I said, secondhand stores, things that are used, there's a lot for sale on the internet that is almost new. I just give an example. So just try to balance or do a creative gift, make something yourself with the means that you have. Then the last card here is, it means well-organized gifts or spending. Again, it's related to the same card. We always get the same topic back here. So it asks you what you spend on others, on loved ones. Is it really necessary? It's the same as the first card, actually. So probably this is an important topic for you for this month or for the months to come. So this card tells you that you need to keep your eggs in your basket, because you see the eggs in the basket here. So as I said earlier, your nephews will not love you more because you pamper them financially. It has an effect on your life. It has an effect on your budget. It has an effect on the way you behave. So it starts by yourself. If your generosity, with Pisces, sometimes this is the case, leads to problems, you need to think about this, because it also gives you financial stress. You need to control yourself. It has no place in your life. You need to control yourself here. If you notice this of yourself, this card tells you to take control. The other card told you this also. It also asks you, you see the nest here, the eggs are in the nest, to build up a safety net, to review your situation and build up a safety net for yourself and those around you, like a safety cushion. If something happens to you and you fall, you are catched by your savings. That is what it means here also. You need to stimulate your future by adjusting your behavior, here it asks, and to move forward with the means that you have. You will be surprised from yourself what you will be able to establish if you apply healthy generosity. So this is what these cards tells you. It tells you on the long run, if you balance the gifts that you give or the charity that you do, you will come out as the winner. So you need to evaluate the situation, what I just told you, what the cards, I'm just reading the cards, what these cards tell you. So this is what the cards suggest to you. So Pisces, for the stone group, this is all for the month of August 2021. I hope you enjoyed my card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and see you maybe next time. Bye-bye for now. Hello Pisces, and welcome to the Fire or the Matches group for your financial card reading for the month of August 2021. So the first card you see here is the card of creativity. Then you see here the card of good and bad debts, and then you see here the food. So my first impression about these cards is that we need to be creative with the money that we have. We need to not spend more, but we need to spend our money in a better way, meaning we need to balance our budget. It says that we need to be creative. If we make investments in our house, it's not necessarily needed to overspend. Maybe you can balance your budget by buying smart, by being creative with your money. Maybe you can buy promos, maybe you can buy like deals, or like 50% off, if you need to make adjustments to your house. It tells you to be creative with your money because we never know what is coming for the future. So it tells you to be smart with your money and spend your money in a smart way. Then the next, this actually relates to our body. So if I see the house as our body, this tells you that it's important that you eat healthy. So it's important that you make maybe some health adjustments. Maybe you cook yourself, you buy foods instead of always take out, buying very high calorie foods. This combination tells you to be healthy, do a healthy spending in your house and in your body. But we will go in more details now. So here I already told you this is the card of creativity. So this card actually means if we spend money, we need to be creative with our money because we are actually suffocated. Our imagination is suffocated and also our wallet is suffocated. It's like we always buy, and we don't think anymore. And in the end, you will pay for your lack of creativity. This is what it says here. So if you are a little bit creative, you could save money. For instance, you could design or develop something out of recycled materials, or you can cook some foods and can them. So like jams or vegetables, and you dress them nice up and you can give them, for instance, as a present if needed to be. This card asks you to be creative with the money that you spend. This is what this card asks you. For instance, you make a gift for your son, and instead of shopping for hours, you be creative. You create something yourself. If you have creative hands, you make him a nice pie, and you give him the pie for the birthday, so you don't need to pay for the pie. If you are creative with your hands, you make something out of woods and you give that as a gift. I know, I'm aware, if the children are older, this is not possibilities, but there are always options. As I said, we can use second hand articles as a gift that come with an extended warranty. So this card tells you to think before you spend and be creative with your money. This is what this card asks you. This card asks you to be original, go out of your normal thinking pattern and spend your money in another way. That this is what this card tells you. It asks you to think out of the box. It also asks you to, if you would be in a difficult financial situation, to prioritize your needs, your basic needs regarding to food and our house. These are basic needs. Food first, and then our shelter. So this card tells you, if you have money, to think about those two things first. This is what is said here also. So originality here is the order of the day. So take some time off and ask yourself the question, how creative you can be with the money that you earn and not spending blindly. It's asked you to save money and spend money. You get the point. What is the question here? It asks you to make room for your imaginative spirit in the kitchen, when giving presents, when spending, when make adjustment to your house, and especially to eat healthy. Then we go in the second card. This card is about our house. There are two kinds of debts. There are good debts and there are bad debts. We will start with the bad debts. What are bad debts? If you have a credit card and the credit card has debts, for instance, you have a certain amount that is not paid from the previous months. It means you pay interests, very high interest in this. Just check your balance sheet and see how much interest you pay in 1 month. You will be surprised. And you will be surprised how much food you can buy with that. So this card, again, you need to be creative with your money. So the negative debts, we come back on them. This card asks you to be smart with your money and to balance out your in a creative way, your debts that you have on your credit cards. Meaning this card asks you if you can balance them, if you are willing to balance them. This is what this card tells you. You need to make a distinction between a liability and an actual investment, because the cards, they are liabilities. it brings you nothing. The gift costs a certain amount, but it costs you actually more because it comes from your credit card. You didn't pay it in cash, so there are still debts on that gift. This is what this card tells you to realize this. This is a warning card to check yourself. It also tells you to prioritize your basic needs, your house and your food. Again, the same. The positive side of this card is if you're creative with your money and you spend more on unnecessary things, you will be able to upgrade your house, get rid of your debts, and you will be able to eat more healthy. So this card asks you, for instance, if you have a debt on your house, I'm aware you pay interest on your mortgage, but that is a positive debt. Why? You deduct the interests from your annual tax payment. So actually you deduct it, so it's a positive debt. Also, every year, especially now in these times, the house upgrades every year in value because properties are becoming very expensive now. So it means every investment you make in your property, it's a solid investment. So you need to be creative with your money and you need to invest in your house. This is what this card tells you, because those are positive debts for your house. You can make debts. That is what it says here. That is not a problem. You can do this in a positive way. Then we come in the last card. Here, this is the card of food. As I told you, we spend a lot of takeouts, especially now with these things here. We are locked in our houses. We don't feel like cooking because we cannot go out, although the situation is improving, I'm aware. But maybe we came in a habit of ordering out. It's easy. We can watch the TV, we can relax. But this card tells you to evaluate this. If you gain weight, it asks you to eat more healthy, to cook yourself, to go to the store, the health store, spend a little bit more on your health, and on the long run, it will save you money because your body will get more healthy. This is what this card tells you. I know it's easier to eat in a restaurant. I know it's easier to take out, but this card asks you to review this situation. This card tells you, are you still devoted to your pots and pans? Or did you stock them? Is there a layer of dust on your pots and pans? It asks you to fill your shopping cart with fresh vegetables, with healthy foods. This is what this card tells you. And in many cases, with the money you spend on healthy foods and cooking yourself, you will have money over, money you can be creative with, and money you can spend on your debts or for small adjustments to your house. You will become healthier, body and soul. This is what this card tells you. I can only read the cards here. It asks you to get back to your culinary activities, to art yourself in cooking. This is what this laying tells you. You need to adjust and you will be financially and in the healthy situation better off. So, Pisces, for the fire group, this is the message that I get here. I hope you enjoyed my card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. This is all for the month of August 2021. See you next time. Thank you for watching and bye-bye.